Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another live stream. Yeah, I saw the Thomas Crooks thing with Tucker Carlson. That's pretty insane that the FBI would deny him having a digital footprint with all those messages. So that surprise, well, I mean, you shouldn't really be surprised, but just a blatant lie. Did you see the Epstein stuff? I don't know, man. Is there another Epstein thing today? I don't think I saw it if it was today. Venezuela situation. Your mailman came out to you as trans. Take on the bishop situation. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Trump Clinton situation. I think that was a code. I think those emails might have been a code or something. I don't think that's real. Trump makes up his mind on Venezuela.
On Venezuela, sir, you've had a lot of meetings on Venezuela. I know you can't tell us what your next steps will be, but can you say, have you made up your mind on what you'd like to do for as far as action for Venezuela?
I sort of made up my mind, yeah.
You have.
I mean, I can't tell you what it would be, but I sort of made up my mind.
On Venezuela, sir?
So apparently he's made up his mind. It says. Do you think Alabama and Georgia will both lose tomorrow? No, I think they'll both win. I think they'll both win. Actually, I mean they're both favorites. You see Megan Kelly crying about the Babylon B post. Yeah, that's disappointment. You really can't do that. I see a lot of stuff Megan Kelly. There's a lot of Megan Kelly hate now. Like when she was for all the trans kids or whatever. That clip is going around like a few years ago. Will the Chiefs lose to the Broncos? I don't know about the NFL, man. The NFL is the tough. I think the Chiefs will win. I think the Broncos' record is overinflated. They're not as good as their record. The economy is not perfect, but not as bad as people are making it out. Well, people want to complain. They feel better complaining about something. So if the economy doesn't drastically change for them, and the other thing is, you're never going to be able to make the economy perfect. It's just not possible. So there's always going to be a negative. I mean, I don't. I think a lot of it's like if you look at the actual numbers, the general sense is it's trending in the right direction, but it's obviously a far ways away from where people would want it to be. So I think they're disgruntled and they still think, well, Trump has now been in for 10 months, so let's just blame him. And so they pass the blame on to Trump now. Is soup a meal? It depends. If you're sick, I think soup can pass as a meal. I think it's kind of hard to make soup a meal if you're not sick. That seems like a really. How does it fill you up? I mean, it depends what type of soup. If it's like chicken noodle, I don't think that's a meal. Trending in the right direction based on what? Well, based on the inflation still being around 3%, based on potentially three rate cuts we've already had two rate cuts, potentially another, so the interest rates are going to go down by 0.775 basis points. We also still have the GDP growth. Now we have the tariff revenue. Now Trump's going to possibly give people $2,000 off of the tariff revenue with very little inflation. Yeah, I do think that Trump's going to try and juice the economy for sure for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons. Trump admitted the full plan would take 10 years or so. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a while. And unfortunately, we're living in a moment where we have to kind of look at the situation as it currently is. Yeah, I think, dude, imagine if we get into more of the stimulus, just like in 2021 with the stimulus and crypto doing very well. So,
All of the other people that he spent time with. Jeffrey Epstein and I had a very bad relationship for many years. But he also saw strength because I was president. So he dictated a couple of memos to himself. Give me a break. You're going to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan Chase. Yeah,
If
Jennifer,
there's
go
nothing
ahead.
incriminating in the file,
On Venezuela,
why
sir?
not? Why are you
Quiet,
acting as if
quiet, McGee.
On Ven-
well, they're gonna have to reveal something. So hopefully, if they reveal a bunch of this stuff, it'll be seen as like a transparent act of the administration, and that'll be something that's good. What if the president had 3 terms instead of 2? Well, it'd be good if it was like somebody I liked it was in for 3 terms. If it was somebody I didn't like, it'd be bad. I mean, that's basically how it is. I think the general is once you do a job for a longer period of time, you get better at it. But there also does there also should be a cutoff, I guess. Whatever you think about the stimulus tariff check, if you get one, you won't send it back. Yeah, I mean, they're going to criticize it and say it's inflationary, but it's not printing more money. I mean, do you think the stimulus tariff checks set a precedent for universal basic income? No, 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 no. The universal basic income is something different entirely in terms of this would be a one-time thing, really, because I don't even think Trump wants to do the checks, honestly. This is more of just because you have the midterms and it's like a time-sensitive thing. The more fiscal thing to do would be to put all this money to the debt. But the reason this is being done is because the midterms are coming up and people really aren't going to be enticed to vote for Trump because they cut the debt by like 20%. They'd be more incentivized to vote for him if he just gave them checks. Like, that's kind of how it is. Take on Matt Walsh on the Bishops take. I haven't seen what Matt Walsh said. Trump is going to Florida. Yeah, did you see what Michelle Obama said? This is just
Worry about it. Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting and it's so expensive and it takes up so much time. Braids are for y'all so we can work harder and focus on the work. So why do we need an act, an act of law to tell white folks to get out of our hair? Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't wonder about it. Don't touch it. Just don't. It just.
I don't even understand what the tank is. The first half of the take, she said, well, white people are forcing us to do this. And the second half, she says, white people back off. So she says, white people make us straighten our hair, but then she says, we don't want your opinion. But then she says, we're trying to adhere to the white person's beauty standard. I don't know, man. It's just all the victimization. I mean, it's like, what is this? Like... This is what liberal black women think white people talk about out of touch. I mean, it's like they wear weaves anyways. I don't understand what she's trying to talk about. She's saying, well, she says it's a beauty standard, so they have to do it. I see black women with curly hair. I mean, it's like, it's just like forced victimization, I feel, honestly. Yeah, I saw this. This was really disappointing that they're not going to do this. These two, at least one seat. They could get two seats if they wanted to. They really could, because I think it's 7-2, so they can at least make it 8-1 in Indiana, but possibly 9-0. But they said they don't have the votes for it, so that'll be this. I mean, because that's two seats, and it could be very close to the House in 2026. I don't know.
As pastors, we, the bishops of the United States, are bound to our people by ties of communion and compassion in our Lord Jesus Christ. And we are disturbed when we see among our people a climate of fear and anxiety around questions of profiling and immigration enforcement.
We are saddened by the state of contemporary debate and the vilification of immigrants. We are concerned about the conditions in detention centers and the lack of access to pastoral care.
We lament that some immigrants in the United States have arbitrarily lost their legal status. We are troubled by threats against the sanctity of houses of worship and the special nature of hospitals and schools.
We are grieved when we meet parents who fear being detained when taking their children to school, or when we try to console family members who have already been separated from their loved ones.
Despite obstacles and prejudices, generations of immigrants have made enormous contributions to the well-being of our nation. We as Catholic bishops love our country and pray for its peace and prosperity.
For this very reason, we feel compelled now in this environment to raise our voices in defense of God-given human dignity.
Catholic teaching exhorts nations to recognize the fundamental dignity of all persons, including immigrants. We bishops advocate for a meaningful reform of our nation's immigration laws and procedures.
Human dignity and national security are not in conflict. Both are possible if people of good will work together.
We recognize that nations have a responsibility to regulate their borders and establish a just and orderly immigration system for the sake of the common good.
Without such processes, immigrants face the risk of trafficking and other forms of exploitation. Safe and legal pathways serve as an antidote to such risks.
The Church's teaching rests on the foundational concern for the human person as created in the image and likeness of God. As pastors,
this is
we
never
look to
ending.
the sacred scripture and the example of the Lord himself, where we find the wisdom of God's compassion. The priority of the Lord, as the prophet reminds us, is for those who are most vulnerable, the widow, the orphan, the poor, and the stranger.
In the Lord Jesus, we see the one who became poor for our sake. We see the Good Samaritan who lifts us from the dust. And we see the one who is found in the least of these. The Church's concern for neighbor and our concern here for immigrants is a response to the Lord's command to love as he has loved us.
To our immigrant brothers and sisters, we stand with you in your suffering, since when one member suffers, all suffer. You are not alone.
We apply path to the...
I thought there was... Dude, I'm literally waiting for the Matt Walsh response. And it's just not on here. I thought there was going to be a response. I guess the response is this. Where's the video? But dude, it's like this stuff is so ridiculous. I mean, this is the thing with the Catholic churches and even the Protestant churches. They are very forgiving to immigrants, legal or illegal. It's in their teaching, but it's a big issue, and they set up like refugee programs and stuff like that, and I hear it's a big problem in Europe, especially out of the Catholic Church. But I don't know, man. It like the United States has the most highest population of illegals out of any country. We have to be able to deport them. You can't not allow us to deport them under some religion. I mean, that's not realistic. This is not proper governance. Did you see the Crooks video by Tucker? Yeah, it was really interesting. I did see it. And Crooks has this massive digital footprint. They said he had no digital footprint. What are we doing? Crooks is on threatening people in the YouTube comments over and over again, according to Tucker Carlson. He pulls up all the different comments that Crooks made. And the FBI just missed it. I mean, come on. Like, it couldn't be and you could understand maybe the kid's a recluse or something, but evidently not, because he was all over the YouTube comments on political videos. And originally he was like MAGA and he was for Trump, and then he turned anti-Trump during COVID from that video. That's what I saw. Ban members of Congress from being paid during the shutdown. We could have used that like 2 months ago.
Now, we are being told to stay back. We're going to follow those rules, of course, but you can see that this really is a stressful situation. Some of those officers back there taking those protesters' gas masks that fell off during the arrest, and we are seeing these people push back from the law enforcement officers. We spoke with some protesters earlier who were very frustrated with local police officers as well as state police officers, what they feel like as being helping the ICE officers. And of course, this arrest happening right here as we speak, and you can hear the crowd screaming shame and shame. But of course, these officers say that this is all for the protection of the people, which is why we have seen these designated protest zones actually put in place. And you can see there is a huge swath of media on my right as well. We've seen at least 3 people arrested, and we're seeing them being taken away into that Cook County Sheriff's Office.
Gee, what a mess. It's just a total mess. I don't even know what to say about these protesters. Like, I don't even see what are they even protesting? The deportation of illegal immigrants? Why would you protest that? That's what was voted for democratically. I don't understand. This is the problem, is you can't even deport like fucking 200,000 people out of 20 million. There's an issue. Is AOC really the Democrats' leftist main choice for president 2028? No, AOC is not the main choice. Maybe a vice president possibly for her, but I don't think so. It's an Antifa group? Yeah, probably. It's always some type of Antifa group. Why don't people like Brian Kelly as a coach? Because he's a hard ass. I mean, he's got some things in his past. He's just like hard to get along with. Tom Homan. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's doing a good job. We got to see what the deportation numbers are, I think. Can't wait to see what they do with the Camping World Stadium renovation. Hope they upgrade the seating. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think they've scaled down that renovation the last time because they had this huge multi-year renovation plan. But you know, if the Jaguars are really going to Camping World Stadium, there's going to have to be a renovation there. There is. They were already planning it, but I think they're going to go there for at least a year. So there's going to have to be some type of renovation to Camping World. I believe it's been scaled down though, and so they've got to add chair backs to the seats. You know, if you're going to be hosting NFL games, that stadium is really hollow. And I don't really blame it for being, because it doesn't host many events. Georgia or Texas? Georgia. I mean, I think Georgia's like 6-point favorites. I think they'd win. You think ICE needs to start mass deportations before midterms? You mean stop mass deportations? That's what you mean? Because of the optics look is not good. Plan on doing any 2026? Yeah, the World Cup stadiums. I think I actually did a video a while ago on that, maybe. But it's like all the main NFL stadiums. I really wouldn't do another video on that if I already did one, but I think there's maybe 2 nicer stadiums in Mexico. They're also hosting games. And then Canada, there's a stadium that's hosting games. Hope everything is going okay. Saw the moving video. Yeah, what's up, man? It's going fine. Are you worried about Ohio State playing at Michigan? I mean, it's a challenging game for Ohio State. It has been, but you know, they should beat Michigan. I mean, they should. Well, it's a rivalry, though. You never know. I mean, they've lost quite a lot recently. The police chief in your town had to make an apology. I mean, are you in like a fucking? Do you live at a border town in Texas? Do you think 2 World Trade Center will be built in the next term? It's been 20. Yeah, I think I heard it's going to be built within the next like decade. Well, within the next several years, I think it's going to be built. You know, they're going to have to. They have to build it. They've already built the foundation. They've already built the foundation. I don't know what plan they're going with, but because they've already built the foundation, there's, you know, they've been talking about doing this eco-friendly thing with a bunch of greenery. I think it looks terrible if they do it, but you know, they got like greenery going throughout the floors. Every 5th floor has like a fucking outdoor level that has trees and stuff. And so I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to build it at some point. What, are they just going to abandon the fucking foundation of it? Bitcoin going to 80K? Whew. I hope not. That would really signal something bad if it went to 80K. But what are you going to do? Will Trump apologize to saying USA is not talented? I don't think Trump really apologizes in general. You live 15 minutes away from Kenosha. You live in a very liberal county in a town in Illinois. Did you play the new Black Ops game? No, I saw it. It looks terrible, man. It really does. It's unfortunate, but what are you going to do? The zombies looks horrible. I didn't really even see the multiplayer. But, yeah, the Black Ops game looks really bad. And it's just the same thing as BO6. And there's no creative... There's nothing creative out of Treyarch anymore. It's all the same stuff. Because they have to sell the game and they have a bottom line and they can't try something new. The Black Ops stuff, it's been played out. Really, after Black Ops 4, like, I don't think Black Ops 4 was thought of as a terrible game. See, after Black Ops 4, it just became desperation with the Black Ops series. You had Black Ops 1, you know, that was like a brand new thing. BO2 was, they say it's like the peak. You know, you go to BO3 with the jetpacks. Then BO4 is kind of like a combination of where it's fast movement, but it's on the ground. And then it just got horrible. I mean, I don't even know. Like Cold War, Black Ops Cold War, Black Ops 6, Black Ops 7. I mean, this is really bad. You know, I like World War II, the Sledgehammer game from 2017. A lot of people didn't like that game. I thought it was a good game, but you think Trump tries anything crazy in his lame duck period post midterms? I don't know if he'll have the time to do much, like a huge project. It also depends if Vance wins or not. I mean, obviously, if Vance loses, it's a completely different scenario. You're trying to get your last, you're pardoning yourself and other people and stuff like that. But if Vance wins, obviously, it makes it a lot easier for Trump during his lame duck. Is Resident Evil better than Black Ops? I never played Resident Evil. You thought COD World War II was fun too? Yeah, I thought they actually put effort into that game. You know, Sledgehammer got a lot of hate for it, but they kind of got screwed by the Fortnite craze in like 2017 or 2018. I never liked Fortnite, dude. I don't really like the Battle Royale games, but everyone likes them. It's strange, but I never liked that type of stuff. Battlefield 6 lets players spray paint anything they want onto walls, and someone spray painted funny shit. Yeah, they're probably going to. I mean, if you give players that creative freedom, they're probably going to have to take it out. You know, Battlefield 6, really, they're using spray paint. I think that's... I don't know, I guess that's fine. Did you see Hunter Biden speaking about Kirk? Yeah, it's like that's like the most pathetic gaslighting. Like, oh, it's good for their movement because they can rally around him. Okay, man, really? Like our young person thought leader got fucking shot in the neck. But it's good for you cuz now you can say how victimized you are. Like that's fucking ridiculous. It's like such bullshit beta like gaslighting. You hated first-person shooter battle royale games after trying Unreal Tournament, died about 15 seconds every time. That's the other thing is there's so many people that are, and I understand it if you're competitive and stuff like that, but it's hard. You got to get with like a squad that knows what they're doing, and it becomes a big challenge. Those games have kind of evolved in terms of there's not a lot of newbiness, so if you want to try and get on there and you're going to have a tough time, most likely. That's why even Black Ops multiplayer is better. You don't have to make this commitment to playing a fucking game for 20 minutes because, that's how long these games takes. I think they take over that sometimes, but your multiplayer is easier. Yeah, sweaty lobbies and then skill-based matchmaking. People complain about that. Skill-based. Well, it's all the good players they want to farm, They want to farm for their... And then what they do is all the streamers, they like fucking use VPNs from Nigeria or like fucking Nicaragua to try and like reset their fucking skill-based matchmaking to be able to... Or get on with just noobs from other countries, I guess, to farm them. You'd rather play classic 6v6 multiplayer than... Yeah, no, I agree. And there's just too much of a time commitment, But even like Ground War 9v9, I'd like to play. What's your take on Piers Morgan wanting to interview Nick? Well, I mean, he's going on everyone's show, so obviously Piers Morgan probably thinks it's okay, like it's safe to interview him. Who is the person that keeps asking if you've seen clips? I don't know who it is. You played hardcore Search and Destroy every day. Search and Destroy, yeah. Dude, but I hate hardcore, man. Hardcore, it kills you in a single bullet. It's chance do you give Oklahoma tomorrow? Like a 20% chance. Used to have a friend. Yeah, I never really got into Halo. I played a little Halo Reach, that's it. Thought you were good at Fortnite. Turned out it was a bot lobby. I haven't played Fortnite since maybe in like 2018. I played a few times. Jeff Bezos blew. Yeah, I did see that. What about Skate? I never played Skate. EBT theft. I played GTA San Andreas a lot on my iPad when I was younger. I played, what did I play on the Xbox original? Crash Bandicoot or something. Super Mario Bros. Why do I see memes saying Trump blew Bill Clinton? Because it's in one of the emails leaks. I think they're talking in code if I had to guess. But it's in one of the email leaks. That's why you'd see that.
At Kalithasan $8,468 tip $10 through Super Chat. Kirk was taken from us too soon.
Absolutely. And now how about the new gaslighting? It's like, oh, you're lucky because, you get to galvanize behind this. This is, I think most people, obviously with the way life works, you move on and stuff like that, but it is insane. And then they try and gaslight about it. But, the two biggest people, the two times where a massive political figure has been shot at, it's been two of the most important Republican people. Do you think Miami will make the ACC championship? I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look at the tiebreakers. They have 2 conference losses, though. What's the new Kirk? That was like a previous speech, I think. Previous speech he was just playing. Yeah, I mean, if you got fired or got laid off or whatever, couldn't go into work or whatever, that lasted about 45 days. That's pretty crazy. There's not a new Kirk right now. No. Who's gonna go to? You're not gonna get it. It's just he did too much, and he knew too many people. He knew all the right people. You're not gonna find that. It's just the connections that he had were. You're not gonna find that. Sounds bad, but why was Charlie Moore talked about after he got shot? Well, that's just the immediate aftermath. Trust me, he was talked about a lot, and he had a huge following. I don't think it's like he had no following, and then he got shot, and then everyone talks about him. He had a big following. But, I mean, obviously, in a situation, especially the fucking footage of it, people are going to have a reaction. Trump was going off on Pam Bondi. You notice a lot of figures on the right are Catholic. Vance, Homan, Fuentes, Candace. I mean, I notice a lot of younger people are becoming Catholic. I don't know if I notice overall the party is more Catholic or not. Yeah, it's that, I feel bad for that Braylon Hollyhan kid, but I think he's already been forgotten about. I haven't really seen much from him recently. He was trying to go to like campus. I think he still is going to campuses, but it was such a bad look for him to go on Fox right after Charlie Kirk got shot, and it's just not good. What's up with his wife and JD? People are saying he's talking to her. Yeah, it's just internet garbage, internet slop. And I agree. I think that in general, I agree with you on religion. Just not even just on Catholicism. You feel a lot of people use Catholicism as a shield to go off in other directions. I think a lot of people online use religion as a shield, and then don't really follow it. Really, I mean, I guess that's part of religion. You're not. It's not going to be perfect, but it also acts as almost like you have morals, but then you don't actually follow it. I don't know. Do you know who Ali Akbar is? Yeah, I do know who he is. And then he changed his name to Ali Alexander. You never met a religious person who adheres to it fully? Well, I think there's different layers to it, but just in general, I think you see it a lot online where people say they're any type of religion, any type of denomination, but it kind of acts as just a shield. Thoughts on Israel aid possibly being extended for 20 years? Well, I mean, I don't know what the system. I thought the system they had in place was done under Obama, and maybe that was an extension. I don't know, but it's four billion a year was the aid that I saw. If it goes back down to 4 billion, a lot of the Israel stuff has really come up because of the war they were having with Hamas, and so if that ends, I mean, you wonder maybe the cat's out of the bag, but for them, that's probably good for Israel, for Jews, because they were getting destroyed with that war and the genocide claims and all that. And so they end it, but I don't know if that's really going to help their image. They're going to get rid of Netanyahu, but favorite to win the Super Bowl, I think it's kind of wide open if I had to guess. I mean, I do like the Lions. I think the Lions are a really good team. I know they lose to the Vikings recently, but they've got a really good offense. I feel like they're a team that kind of deserves one. Any other team, I mean, the Bills, but the Bills are kind of they just don't have a good enough receiving core, honestly, the Bills, and a good enough defense. The Chiefs, I would not be happy with the Chiefs winning. The Eagles, I would not want to see win. The Seahawks would be interesting. I know they've been playing well, but I don't know if I trust them. New England, yeah, I don't know if I trust New England. They've had a really easy schedule. Did you see AOC said some MAGA voters want to join Democratic Socialists? Yeah, I did see that. It is kind of funny. She was like, I'm not going to, she was saying something about like the Republicans and Democrats and how she's not going to close the door on Republicans because some Trump supporters want to be Democrat socialists. Okay. Need to repeal Hart-Celler Act and subsequent bill. The one thing I've been thinking about immigration, it's like, I think a lot of the Europe countries, they might be, just from a general sense, more based on immigration. And I wonder why that is, because you would think the United States is a more right-wing country than the UK and some of the other countries in Europe, the major countries. But, from what I see with the politicians and what they're talking about in Europe, I mean, they're all talking about remigration. I don't even think we're anywhere close to like remigration in the United States. We can't even deport illegals without getting called fascist. So it's to me, it's interesting to watch that in Europe. What's your take on Massey grifting off Epstein? It's all the same slop over and over again. They talk about it, but they don't do it. Well, Starmer is, a liberal there. He's part of the Labor Party, but even him saying that from a liberal party, would you see a Democrat say we're not going to accept more immigrants? I don't think you'd see that in the United States. You don't really see that unless they're forced. Well, I mean, I guess Starmer is forced to do it as well, but you don't really see the same type of verbiage used about immigrants that you see in the UK. A lot of more smaller, unique countries. Also, a difference in terms of the those countries being around a lot longer. You have to wonder, and there's still a lot more Caucasian, a lot of those countries than the United States, and where we're at right now with our demographics. Our demographics have changed a lot more, and now Canada's are changing significantly. But just in general, North America, our demographics have changed compared to Europe. Even though they say Europe is more liberal, our demographics have changed way more than a lot of those European countries. People really don't realize that. Why did 2 judges say they can't be released? The files? I don't know. Maybe something to do with national security. I don't know, something. You flew to London, Heathrow. It was like India and customs, and they had their own line for Indian passports. And the line looked 6 to 8 hours long. The U.S. line took 10 minutes. Well, I mean, I think that's anecdotal. I mean, generally the demographics are more Caucasian. I mean, London, yeah, London is going to be majority minority for sure. But the surrounding areas are a lot more Caucasian. And any of these major cities in the West now are majority minority. But it's like people think the UK has just been completely walked over. And yeah, I guess from like a sense they're more liberal, but I hear a lot more stuff in Europe. Like in the United States, we're not even at the point to where we can deport all these illegals. It's still an issue trying to deport them. And I think it's going to turn into an even bigger problem because Trump is not going to be able to deport all of them, and he's going to have to stop deporting them probably about 5 months until before the midterms. He's going to have to really stop because it's seen as like a negative for the elections. And then imagine the Democrats win the House, and then that makes it even harder. But that's even like deporting 3 or 4 million, which I'm not even sure they're going to be able to do. And these are illegal immigrants. We still take in the most legal immigrants out of any country, and we have since 1965. So it's not even like this is the battle that should be easy, is the illegals, and it should be like, yeah, we want to deport all of them. We won the election, and I mean, I'm not even blaming Trump because just the apparatus of deporting these people is so challenging. You do need Vance. You need Vance for 8 years to probably get most of them out. And hopefully that would be enough. I mean, that's 12 years of deportations if Vance can win. The other problem is with like American politics, people don't view once a situation like Trump has supposedly solved the southern border in terms of they have this presence down there. They're not letting anyone in. They say there's 0 illegals entering the country in the past 4 months. And so it's like this, people don't really think it's high on the ballot. That was such a huge, easy win for Republicans was the topic of immigration. Well, immigration's not going to be a huge topic for 2026 or 2028 if this continues. Because why would it be? If Trump has solved it, but then the question is, do the voters give credit to Trump for solving it? Well, I think they mainly pivot to something else and say, well, the economy sucks or something like that. And so that's where it kind of becomes an issue. It's like you don't even get credit for it. And it's not an issue to where you can kind of win easily off of it. when the Dems come back, they're going to make a push in the other direction. It can be a disaster. Well, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, honestly. I think they're probably... I don't think people want illegals entering the country at the rate at which they were, during the COVID stuff in 2021 and 2022. But I think they'll soften the policies. You're not going to see any ICE raids. We'll say that with Democrats. So they're going to let the illegals stay. And I think they had a plan to give a bunch of them amnesty anyways. But, they would try and say, well, we want a stronger border, but we want all the illegals to be able to stay and have amnesty because they're working and stuff like that. So that maybe that's what they would do. They would try and keep the border. I mean, because if you weaken the border, it's going to hurt you in terms of the elections. They found that out during the Biden term. Why is Trump so out of touch with his base? Well, I mean, I think this is what I think. Obviously, you're talking about his online base. His online base is a lot younger than he is. And they're a lot younger than a normie Trump supporter. And so obviously, if you're talking about 24-year-old kids relative to Trump, he's going to be way, way out of touch. I mean, he's a boomer, right? He's a heavy capitalist billionaire boomer. And he's really old, and it shows in times versus a lot of these younger kids. And the things that you see online, these are a lot of younger guys, and there's just not going to be a lot of relating to Trump at all. And Trump comes from a different world. He just does. And I'm not saying that as an excuse to Trump. I'm just telling you how it is. Did Trump really call out Bondi? I mean, people were saying that he did. Yeah, she has been bad. I thought she would be the one to be gone. I think they want probably continuity within their cabinet, so that's probably why she isn't gone. Trump has become a Duggan boomer. He knows it's his last term and he's going to do things the way he wants. Well, and also it's just he is a boomer. Like he is a boomer, so it's going to be hard to really relate to that. And he does say things where he's bullheaded, and there definitely is some ego involved with Trump. I think there's probably a flexibility problem. He's really not flexible on certain things. He can't be told, well, no, this is not right. You need to do this. So, but that's just how these leaders are, especially someone like Trump, who's lived the life that he's lived. Thoughts on Hassan being stopped by Chinese police? Well, who cares about him being stopped or whatever? He goes to China and praises China. And it's like, China is the antithesis of what the United States is. And the idea of this fucking streamer who makes millions of dollars in the United States going to China and praising China and insinuating China is better than the United States is insane. Based on China's own economic system, you wouldn't be able to make that money as a streamer in China at all. China fucking hates immigrants. They have an extremely strict immigration policy. So we have to watch this dude who already hates America go to China and tell us how much better China is than America. This is the exact problem with this immigration. And I think Hassan was born in Turkey. What's his allegiance to the history of the United States? Nothing. Hassan and Destiny are examples of the worst people imaginable. I haven't heard much about Destiny recently. Maybe it's just not, he hasn't had anything big happen, but I saw that thing about Hassan. But I know Destiny was also talking about Hassan, allegations against them. They hate each other, I know that. Hassan's only interest in the U.S. seems to be changing the fundamental culture of it. Well, it's just siphoning off of the capitalist system, and I don't even know. I mean, it's just a fundamental difference of just the history of the United States. I think that's mainly it. A lot of these people don't even know. You got to sit down with these people and say, how America became the most powerful country in the world? It wasn't because of this fucking immigration that we've brought in the last 60 years. This is the antithesis of what the United States and the Founding Fathers believed. And then how about what liberal would cite Founding Fathers? You know how many times I hear liberals citing Founding Fathers? I'm like, oh my God. Do you know what they believed about literally anything when it comes to border protection and the type of people that could become American citizens, I mean, you would cite founding fathers. Are you going to pay the $50K to stream with PBD? That sounds like a good investment for me. That sounds like probably something I should do. My one viral tweet, he actually responded to it. That was pretty funny. Our success in tech is all immigrants. Well, I tell Canada that. They found out. That's what, what Canada was trying to do. This really should be used a lot more. They were trying to really get in the game with tech, and they said they were going to be they were going to have all the innovation, and so they brought in a bunch of these Indian like H-1B types, and it's been a complete disaster. It's been a complete disaster for them. Yeah, buy crypto. I honestly, we can't even tell people to buy crypto right now. I think it's hopefully it comes back. I hope it does, Ben. And I really think it will. But it's like, bro, you're catching a falling knife if you buy now. I mean, outside of like, Ethereum or Bitcoin or XRP or maybe Chainlink or like normie stuff. Chinese students are all over U.S. universities. Trump thinks it's a good thing. Well, Trump, I mean, it's from a capitalist sense, yeah, because they all have to pay their own tuition. But no, I agree with you. I mean, that's definitely like a nationalist sense versus a capitalist sense. We don't want the people here because they're not Americans and they're taking spots away from Americans. But then the capitalist says, well, they're all paying their own way. In some cases, they pay even more. And so it's like, well, it's good for us because they're going to give us more money. So I know it's unfortunate. You should switch over to investing in stocks, move on from crypto. I have to get a stock portfolio, but I think it's going to be a lot safer, bro. Even than just like any of these tech stocks or anything. I just want to make money off of the stock market and not have to worry about losing anything. I know it's the antithesis of kind of what I do with crypto, but I don't think it would be that. It would probably be index funds is what I'm looking at. I mean, I'll go to someone and talk to them about it, but no. That's got to be a troll about liquidating BTC and buying gold. Maybe silver. I mean, if you sold all your BTC and bought digital silver, buy Tether Gold is what you should buy is Tether Gold. Have you heard of the YouTuber IB? No, I never heard of him. Buy physical silver? Yeah, it's got to be physical. Physical silver, physical gold. You store it yourself. You got to make sure you got to make sure you have it. You got to buy a nice safe. Got to buy a very heavy safe. I got to get a heavy safe. I'm going to have to do when because I have things I have to store. Like crypto stuff, I need like a heavy safe or something for when I move. Buy barrels of oil to keep in the basement. Like it's like worth $75. It's like worth, dude, imagine. Just get oil. What kind of World War II topics interest you the most? Nazi Germany, like European World War II stuff. Yeah, I mean the United States and Imperial Japan as well, but are you a crypto millionaire? I was actually pretty close to becoming a crypto millionaire. That was many moons ago. That was many fortnights ago. I don't know about now. It's a little bit tougher now, I think. I mean, I could become a crypto millionaire, but I'm more likely to become a millionaire off of just, YouTube stuff and like fucking good boomerism investments or something, probably. No, I mean, I think It depends if hopefully this isn't an actual bear market. If it is, then yeah, it's going to be a problem. Yeah, Ole Miss can make the SEC championship, but they need, what do they need, Georgia to lose or something? They need Georgia to lose because Georgia has the head-to-head over them.
I think I've proven fake news because they used to have high approval ratings, the media. Now they have the lowest. I think they're lower than Congress, which is pretty good. So, no, fake news was a great term, except it's not strong enough. You know, I'd like it to be stronger. You know, the word fake is one thing, but this is beyond fake. This is corrupt, what they did. I think I've proven fake news because...
Who even is this interviewing? GB News? Great Britain News? I don't even know who that is. Go and click on Ben Shapiro's comment section and read the comments and laugh. Bro, he's getting just... like, in terms of, like, the online internet war, he's getting just destroyed. And I think you can tell it was happening, but now he puts out this video about Tucker and Fuentes, and... yeah. You had 5 BTC at one point, but spent it on weed. Well, that was probably like 2011, 2012. Ben Shapiro said we need H-1Bs. Yeah, he's really, and he also hates the tariffs that Trump imposed. I don't think he's really a Trump supporter. He's got to support him, though, because he's the leader of the Republican Party. I don't think he really likes Trump, Shapiro. It seems to be a bit fake. Wouldn't want to make YouTube a job just for fun. Well, it's a challenge. You're going to have to work at it a while to even have the revenue for it. It takes a while. Depends what you're doing videos on, if there's a hunger, if there's a niche for it. Tucker saying Ben will be irrelevant in 3 to 4 years too. I mean, it's trending to him not having a ton of, he's still got the Daily Wire, but man, has it shifted. I mean, they have to have it shift back somehow, and I don't know if you can really put the toothpaste back in the bottle at this point with Shapiro. It seems almost impossible, but you never know with politics. I mean, it could go in any number of directions, like the dialogue, but you do get Ben being anti-tariff, but he rarely mentions the leverage factors. Well, I mean, like, dude, being anti-tariff, it's like, what are we even arguing here? What you want global, you want other countries to produce all of America's goods? I mean, and to me, it's just not sustainable. Like the idea that we're not going to make a single thing because it's cheaper to make it in China, and that's how we're going to live the rest of our fucking lives, getting everything from China spoon-fed. Knowles and Walsh, to some extent, are keeping Daily Wire alive by the day. Yeah, I wonder what Walsh will do. I mean, Walsh is like, he says he's this, he tries to go as this very based Catholic, and, he's got the Shapiro hanging over his head, so it's an interesting dynamic. Knowles, I don't know if it's just my timeline, but Knowles is not nearly as aggressive as Walsh. I mean, I constantly see Walsh saying shit. Why is Trump's party trying to ban THC? Well, it's coming back now. That's coming back. People now are against cannabis. And so there was this whole movement of weed smokers, and it was this big thing. But now people are starting to shift back and say they don't like it. And just all the downtowns, you're downtown, it smells like weed. It's a bad smell. It used to smell like cigarettes everywhere. Now it's weed places. You go in the streets. Hung out with some Ohio State grads. When you watch a video that's critical of Israel, ads for International Fellowship of Christians and Jews always pop up. I never get ads. I have the YouTube Premium, but you are a weed smoker, but it's undeniable that it leads to more people high on the road. Dude, that was like the ultimate Joe Rogan argument with Steven Crowder. Like, does weed cause accidents and stuff? I remember that. I listened to that when I was working a job, that argument. I didn't even know that was what was going to happen in that episode. I was just listening to a random episode, and they argued for like 2 straight hours. Weed helps you focus watching your stream. Otherwise, you change the channel. You change the channel, it's YouTube. How are you going to change the channel? You're trolling. Weed is the only thing keeping you. Clemson. Yeah, Clemson is playing. That's right. The Friday night game. Clemson is playing. Oregon is playing. Clemsoning. Remember, that was from like 2010. Well, vape pens are very accessible. I think even more so. It's even more common. It's commonplace for young people to just hit the vape pens. I don't even know what the fuck is in the vape pens. Is it fucking smoke or something? There were a ton of vape pens at my high school in 2017, 2018, but I'm sure it got worse. And it's just like this weird ass. It smells like fruity shit. I don't even know. They have like strawberry flavored and shit. I'm not a fan of any of that. I had like one, what is the other thing other than THC, CBD or whatever? I tried to have something like that for sleep. It didn't really help me. How is Clyde? He just sleeps. I'm just cleaning my room constantly, trying to clean stuff. But he just sleeps. Weed vape pens are fucked. You can feel the whole oil in your mouth. Not good. Oh. Ooh. They'll immediately kick you out at Browns games for vaping. Wow, I'm surprised they're that much of a sticklers for that. That's honestly good. I wonder if it's like that at all NFL stadiums. Trump New Truth hating on Taylor Greene. Yeah, I don't like any of the nicotine Zins or any of that. I don't do any of it, man. I never done any of it. Yeah, Massey got a new wife pretty quickly after his previous wife passed away. Psychedelics need to be legalized for therapeutic settings. Yeah, I mean, some of it can be, but to me, those are very specific circumstances they always talk about that. Well, they need psychedelics help with certain things that, normal medicine won't. But I mean, how many people is that really going to help? It's like 1 in 1,000, I feel like. I feel like most people just want it legalized to legalize it so they can do it recreationally. Thoughts on the BJ Trump gave to Bill? I'm not gonna say anything. But I mean, it's like, imagine that's actually true. I think it's code. Tucker sells nicotine pouches. I know he loves it. He's obsessed with it. He constantly advertises for it. You've done a ton of psychedelics. You don't think there's medical... All right, let me ask you something. What's the most potent psychedelic you've had, and did you have a panic attack, and what happened? You should get Truth Social. So I can see the constant Trump tweets. I mean, I guess I should, but it's like, I feel like they just get put on here. Trump withdrawing his endorsement of MTG. Well, we knew this was coming, right? And then we get the novel from Trump. Are you watching the Oregon game? I mean, I'd have to go like freaking cross-eyed to watch it. I'm watching chat. I'm watching this screen. No, I'm not watching it. I thought Oregon plays at 9. Or did they play at 7? He's calling her wacky, huh? Yeah, I don't think that's really all that surprising. What did MTG do? I thought she was a Trump T writer. She previously was. I think she still says she likes Trump. But now she's gone against like the H-1B stuff. She's talked about the Israel influence, and obviously Trump. There's allegations about Trump with that. And so, she's gone towards more of this America First wave rather than, I mean, I'm sure Trump would say he's America First too, but just in the internet sense. Is MTG really in the wrong? You could say like a lot of the stuff that she wants is not realistic, and it just causes more problems because there's not a united front. I think you could argue that. Yeah, I mean, all of her stuff is like America First, and nobody wants H-1Bs. I get it. She's grifting. Yeah, but I feel like everyone says people are grifting all the time. Maybe she is. MTG is a disgrace that should be impeached. Well, I mean, Trump is going to go against her, so we'll have to see in Georgia. Is MTG an actual threat? You feel like Trump defectors aren't actually getting much attention. Nobody is talking about MTG on The View now. Well, I don't think that's a great gauge of... Yeah, I mean, all the people that now, like, within the Republican Party that don't like Trump, really, I don't feel like they have much standing, and a lot of that is because Trump just controls so much of the party. You know, he's been the nominee the last 3 election cycles for the Republicans. Watch Trump endorse some Indian candidate against MTG. Huh. That would be ironic. That would be poetic, I guess, for her. Wow. Hey, man, what's up? Hi, DG. Hi. How are you doing? Tim Pool always says Trump will get impeached. Well, it depends on if the Democrats win the House. I'm sure he will. They'll file the articles of impeachment for sure. But as long as the Senate is controlled by Republicans, it's not going to happen. Why did Judge win the MVP? Dude, that was a close race. That was 17-13 first place votes. Judge versus Cal Raleigh. Yeah, I thought Judge should win. I was telling people in the chat that Judge was going to win, and they didn't believe me. They said, well, nope. I was surprised. I thought it would have been like 25-5 or 20-10, but it's crazy how since Charlie's assassination, the right has fractured more than before in such a short amount of time. The infighting is so exhausting. That's something to really analyze, is the effect of his assassination has had on this, and people like Fuentes gaining more of a voice now. But that's probably something that needs to be reflected on, you know, in years to come. It's still kind of developing. Rand Paul still exists. Yeah, Rand Paul still exists. I hear him on the... I faintly hear his voice on the Congress floor. MTG isn't attractive enough to pull something like this off. Oh, you mean like going against Trump? With female politicians, there is a level to where if they're attractive, I mean, it's hard to gauge exactly like what it would do, but do you try to avoid the social media political commentator beef scene? Yeah, I don't know who I would have really beef with, honestly. So, but a lot of it is like, I think I'm more interested in history, honestly, than all these like micro issues. I just find myself, I think history is just more in just understanding like the basis of history to formulate an argument is so important. And like a lot of these micro issues, to me, it's just a bunch of crap. A lot of it. Like, I know it's supposed to be important and you got to do videos and stuff, but I try and do videos in the economy. It's like, you know, it's hard to really even do videos on it. I mean, it takes a while for the economy to change either in any direction. You know, you can't just... Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened. I think that's Russell Brand's brand. Like his actual brand. He doesn't wear a shirt. But you know, he was on with Alex Jones, and just the dude doesn't have an undershirt on. He's got no buttons on. It's interesting. Best movie I've seen this year? That's a tough one. I'd have to remember the movies. I think the most recent The Conjuring may have been decent. It was decent. I don't know if I'd say it's the best movie I've seen this year, but The Last Rites or whatever, I think. There's a few movies I've seen, but I can't really remember them off the top of my head this year. See the Ali Akbar situation with Nick Fuentes? Yeah, I've known about that for a bit. We need another good war movie. Yeah, I mean, I thought Fury was a good movie. It kind of has like a weird reception, but if they made a movie like that with like a high budget with good actors, that would be pretty sweet. Is the next big Republican change anti-Israel? Well, it's hard to gauge if this is just like a flicker or if it is an actual movement because so much of Congress is still controlled by, supporting Israel. So the people in Congress have to be more anti-Israel, and it would really shift things, I think. I mean, it's hard to really say for sure. I guess you get an anti-Israel candidate if somebody runs for president, but you're going up against Vance, and it's hard for Vance to answer that type of stuff because if Vance wants to be seen as this based conservative and he's pro-Israel, it doesn't really jive with the younger voices in the Republican movement, so it becomes a problem for Vance. You think we're in a bear trap before the big run? Yeah, hopefully that's what it is. I mean, I think we could make an argument that if you look at the 3 rate cuts, if you look at the stimulus, if you look at the idea that, I mean, seriously, is the cycle top 125K? That seems, from 69K, that doesn't seem very good for BTC, honestly. If that's this 4-year cycle top 125K, I don't believe that. Ethereum can't even make a new high. But we're going to sit here and say, oh, we're back in the bear market. I don't know if I believe that. Favorite comedy of all time? I think The Wolf of Wall Street was a really funny movie. That was a really funny movie. Had great actors, too. Move to Western North Carolina. It's red, beautiful mountains and cheap housing. Atlanta and Charlotte, 2 to 3 hours away. That's a little bit warm for me. Who is actually our greatest ally? We know it's not Israel. I don't know. People say Japan. I'd have to think about it. And we didn't even have a euphoric alt season top. No, 100%. It's not even been close. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum will drive altcoins. Even look at Solana. What has Solana done that's so great this cycle? Neither of them have done much. So, no, I agree 100%. There's no euphoric top yet. Move to East Cleveland? Dude, East Cleveland is brutal, man. East Cleveland. I mean, there are some decent parts of Cleveland, like the Flats. And, they've cleaned up some of the areas downtown. It's like hit or miss. Even like the foot traffic in Cleveland it's not great. And there's just not, it's not a major, it just doesn't have a major city vibe. There's just not enough skyscrapers. There's not enough big buildings. They didn't even build it. There's a casino that's been in Cleveland probably for like 14 years. I remember it was a big thing when I was younger at opening, but they didn't even fucking build a new building. They repurposed a former, like, I don't know if it was like a shopping mall or something. They repurposed a former building and just built a fucking casino out of the building. I don't think pineapple on pizza is good. Well, to be fair, I don't really think I've ever had it, but I feel like I wouldn't like it because the problem is it's the juice of the pineapple mixed with the oil of the pizza, or it becomes a problem. The grease of the pizza, I should say, becomes a problem. Local Target have Starbucks people with blue hair. I don't think there's anyone. They have a gay pride flag, but I don't think they have anyone with blue hair. Burgers or pizza? I like them both. I do like them both. I think it depends on the night, but I'd say maybe overall burgers. Favorite pizza toppings? I don't, well, the toppings, I'll just take cheese or pepperoni. So I'm kind of basic about it. That's about it. I mean, and then in terms of like, I normally never dip it in anything. I think it becomes an overkill. You dip it in ranch, but I have done that, at least the crust. Starbucks, your Starbucks baristas have purple hair. Adds to the flavor. You're going to get a hell of a drink. They know how to do it well. Is Hawaii too sunny for my ginger skin? It depends. Yeah, living there would not be good for me. Living there, that's the thing is, even with my skin, it's like I need to live in the snow. It's just like the reality of living the just darkness, just the snow darkness, just in a fucking igloo, because of my just. It's not good because the problem with the sun is it like superheats my head, but because of my hair, it like it attracts the heat, so it's a problem. Ranch with pizza is the best combo ever. It's an overkill to me. I mean, there's a lot going on, man. There's a lot. That's a lot of palate to take in. Like, it's a lot. That's a lot for my palate. I mean, the problem is when you have dry skin. I did recently have dry skin because of those fucking dust I kicked up. Having dry skin is really annoying. I normally never have. One day in Florida, your face is covered in freckles. Yeah, that happened to me when I went. I don't know if it was the Bahamas. Maybe it was the Bahamas. I don't know where the last vacation was. In 2021, I went somewhere and yeah, my freckles come out with the sun. But like it has to be like hot sun. You're closer to the equator. It's like powerful UV rays or whatever. It's like adding you that's like adding milk to pizza, really? With ranch? No. Cause ranch is a much different consistency and flavor. Just because it looks like the same color. If you move to equities, you're young enough to be a bit more aggressive. Well, I'm still in crypto. Let's just understand something. The last actual like fiat I put into crypto was over a year ago because I started reinvesting into crypto in 2023, and the final few $1,000s I put in was probably in like the summer of 24. Everything else has been saved, so I'm not moving on from crypto. I'm just done. Whatever happens to it with the money I have into it. And it's been, I've thought about doing that for a while, but now I have, money stockpiled, and at some point I am going to have to try and make more, I guess. I mean, I don't fucking know. But I need like a good tech stock or something. I'll put 20K into a good tech stock. But then that's probably going to tank. Listen, imagine if I fucking invest into actual stocks and still get destroyed. I'll be pissed off. Now I'm going to invest into some real utility. And it's like some risky AI stock. Think there will ever be a male White House press secretary again? Maybe like a gay male if it's a liberal in office. Maybe like AOC hires a gay male to be the press secretary in 2029. You have more balls than me. I can't diamond hands like you. Well, I just diamond hand it. I'll diamond hand for a while, hopefully. But I really, dude, it hasn't even been like something to where it's like, oh, I've got like, you know, my portfolio is $3 million and I'm diamond handing it. You know, I haven't had experienced something like that. But even exiting coins is a fucking brutal challenge in crypto because it takes a while to exit coins if you have a lot of the supply. Even if you have like 0.5% or 1% of the supply, because a lot of the times the liquidity is not there. Is CoffeeZilla desperate for content, or is he actually reporting something with his 157 Epstein videos? Well, he got views, so he keeps doing the same thing. That's basically it. That's the name of YouTube. Invest in Nvidia. Nvidia literally has the highest market cap out of any stock. Nvidia has a higher market cap than fucking Microsoft or Apple or... MTG is a force to be reckoned with. You're saying I spray tan. I think MTG uses a nice bronzer if I were to guess. You're saying I should spray tan. I'm going to pass on any type of tanning. Men should not... Well, I guess if you want to looks max, but I don't think men should tan. Thoughts on Myron Gaines lately? I did see that with Akash Singh. That's disturbing. That dude got destroyed. And it's because of his wife. I mean, his wife with those statements about just being a thought. Oh, and then he marries her and says she's a virgin. And just, it's a mess, man. And the dude's like 31 and he marries a 22-year-old girl, a good-looking girl, because he's got clout. And he thinks she's a virgin. And it turns out, no, she's not. Not even close. Just a bad situation. You have friends that work at NVIDIA, like 75% of their engineers are millionaires. It's the same thing as like, you know, the company makes so much money, they can afford to pay people at ridiculous rates. And then it compounds on itself. Then you get all of the best engineers because you're paying them the most and you're already making the most money, and it compounds. Yeah, well, the PE growth doesn't surprise me because it's newer. She said she was popping her pussy at the frat boy parties, and now it's just the dude literally says he's marrying a virgin. It's like, Myron Gaines' wife left him for a construction worker. Yeah, I think he denies that. I don't know if that's true or not. I know they used that against him. Did you see the Tim Pool thing? Did you see some of that with Brian Shapiro, the dude, the liberal dude? Apparently Brian Shapiro got assaulted or something during that event, or Tim Pool tweeted out about it. But yeah, they released that episode today of Myron Gaines, Alex Stein, Brian Shapiro, Tim Pool. Cal Raleigh, but you were saying that the entire time it didn't happen. You bet the 9/11 videos took off on your channel? Yeah, they did take off on my channel, but they're evergreen videos, so it's more of like an acute, like they accumulate views over time. You think ONDO is going to be the next big coin? Wall Street leaving NYC for New Texas Stock Exchange? I never heard of it. Will Trump get... Do you think Arch Manning will have 300 passing yards against Georgia? I don't know. Maybe like if they're down early, he's got to throw a lot. Thoughts on making YouTube a career? I mean, it's a challenge. You should really have a job and then you do YouTube on the side and try and build it up that way. That's kind of what you have to do. Just going straight into it's a big challenge. I mean, also, ideally, I guess it would have to probably be started through like shorts or even. No, I wouldn't say that, but it is easier to get like unique eyeballs in the short form content. Because if you're starting with basically nothing, the number one goal is to get anyone to view your content. So you have a better chance in short form, but then you have the issue if you get a bunch of short form people, then it's not going to translate to long form. I don't know. And then another thing is, yeah, it's like if you call someone out, I mean, that type of stuff does really well with drama. But I don't know, man. It's hard to do. It's like it takes a while. Very rarely will you be able to do it within like a year. Even it's like multiple year thing. You might be able to do it unless you're like really you produce like amazing videos. Thoughts on moving to Puerto Rico, no income tax? I think people shouldn't do that. I think that's dumb, honestly. The income tax stuff, it's like, I think there's other things involved. It's not just the no income tax. Is that the only reason people move to Puerto Rico? I feel like there's other tax benefits you get, but I think why do that? What is I mean, is it really that big of a deal? I would pay a 2% or 3% state income tax and be fine rather than fucking maximize myself that much. It doesn't really matter to me. Like if I pay now, if it's 11% like California, I'm not paying that. I'm not paying like 10% in New York or whatever it is, and fucking even like 6 or 7% I'm not paying. But 3%, like Ohio's is I think 3.25% or something. I think that's fine. You wouldn't sacrifice quality of life to move to Puerto Rico? Well, most of the people that move there, they buy these mansions. I mean, it's rich people that move there, and then they live there half the time and then live in the States the other half. Boomer slop content. Yeah, that's what it is, mainly. Who do you think your fan base is, mostly? It's adult males, probably like to age 30-ish. Puerto Rico has no federal income tax, so you save 39% for the top bracket. So it's federal, not because it's a territory, that's why. It's a territory. Liking your 9/11 content, it's an interesting rabbit hole. Looking forward to more of those vids. There's quite a lot of them, man. There's a lot of 9/11 vids there you can look at. I mean, I could do the iceberg part too. That's a challenge for me, but that's probably the one I'm trying to do, and we'll see. But I've done a lot of them already. Rita. Yeah, I know. You're right. What even is Rita? Now I have to register for Rita with fucking because I got this new thing. I'm just sick of it with the Ohio stuff. And now does every state have a Rita, or is it just fucking Ohio? How old are you? I don't know. It looks like you're fucking autistic in that picture. That's not you in that picture. I don't know, 27. BO7 just released thoughts. I think it's terrible. I think it's a reskin of BO6. They're just doing it to make money. They got to go in a completely different direction. They got to stop with the Black Ops. You're in Ohio. What's Rita? It's local. It's city tax. Maybe you don't have it. I don't know, but it's city tax. Depends on what city you're in. I think it's Northeast Ohio. It might even only be Northeast Ohio has Rita. Thoughts on doing a video on the 270? Now, why would I do that? I mean, I don't know, man. I did the Dancing Israelis, and they said it's fine. So, but I don't know, man. That's a lot of information to where it becomes like a historical interpretation. So it becomes really challenging. A lot of history is just interpretation of at an individual level. Like, how do you interpret these events? But you turned 30 yesterday, but feel 70. Welding is taking a toll on your body. That is the issue with the manual, blue collar labor. It has its taxes your health. Thoughts on moving to East Palestine, Ohio for cheap houses? That sounds like a good deal to me. I mean, I'm in need of a cheap house. I'm in need of a nice, maybe like 800 square foot, 1-bedroom home. Imagine. Do you believe we don't need police reform? I think there should be a higher standard for police. Police should be in shape. I do think that's important. Also moving to Palestine. It's always an option. It's always an option to convert. Hawaii also has the lowest property tax in the nation. Hawaii's cost of living is really expensive. It's from what I hear. Yeah, you're in Northeast Ohio, assuming you don't have that. You'll call your drunken tax lady. That surprises me if you never heard of that. Because that is a big... because I talk to my tax people and they say it, and I have to register for something. I don't know. It's supposed to be like local taxes. A Jet 2 holiday. That's an overused thing. That's an overused meme now. Astonishing how politically uninformed 95% of the population is. Literal NPCs make the entire electorate so easily manipulated. Well, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I never really thought about that. I don't really think like, oh, everyone's ignorant or something, but I guess a lot of people don't really pay attention to it. People pay attention to their own stuff. Hawaii has lower property taxes. Yeah, Hawaii, I don't know where he's getting that. Hawaii's got to be really expensive. I mean, maybe they have low property taxes, but they're overall, the cost of living in Hawaii is very, very expensive. Do you support a full release of the Epstein files or still carrying water for Trump? No, they can release the Epstein files. Oh, my life is going to change if they release the Epstein files. Oh no, guys. Like what? I don't give a fuck. They go ahead. They can release the Epstein files. Like, would you convert to Islam to marry two 10 of 10s? No. I mean, what level of desperation are we at? I'm getting asked questions like that. You think Dean is a bot? Well, you're a bot as well. I see you here every night. And it's the same stuff about asking for clips. That's throwing stones from Glass House with that, accusing Dean of being a bot. Yeah, Dean's an AI agent on virtuals. Yeah, dude. The Rasmussen guy, 100%. I had to mute the guy. I am just so sick of hearing about it. Like, I get it, man. You don't think I know about, like, oh, the young right wing is very right wing and they hate Israel. Like, dude, we get it. How many times do we have to hear it? So I agree. I'm glad you said that, honestly. Oh my God.
At Alexis Jen tipped $15 through Super Chat. If you were out talking with a friend and a black woman came up and interrupted your conversation saying quiet, a black woman is speaking then asks for directions, what would be your response?
So a black woman comes up to me and says, quiet, a black woman is speaking and then asks for directions, what would be your response? I would tell him to fuck off or something. I mean, it's disrespectful to me. I'm not going to be talked like that. It's just a weird scenario. It's a strange question. Who's a bot, Dean, or the people asking for clips? They might all be bots. I don't know. It's hard to say. You're not gonna have a bot with all these comments. That's not how a bot works. Can you get the blonde dude off the screen? You don't like MTG? That's real femininity. This is peak femininity. And it's disrespectful of you. I know that was an interesting setup of a question. Who is the guy that is muted? I don't know who you're talking about. Who do you think Fuentes vice president will be in 2036? Maybe Ellie Alexander. Does a ginger girl gain a few points rating to you? I very rarely see ginger girls. It's very rare. It doesn't even like. It's really even hard to say. I barely see any ginger girls. It's just like an extremely rare thing. I'm not even kidding. So I wouldn't even. It's not even like I see many. The Clyde guy. Anakin. Is Anakin back? There's no way. There's no way. I don't see him. Yeah, Trump looks like a big boy. I think Trump's, they say, lost some weight. You get old like that, you're going to lose a little bit of weight. There was one ginger girl in your grade and she was dating and now married to the only other ginger guy. Well, that's impressive. We respect it. We respect the ginger supremacy with that. What's your opinion on Josh Naylor? He's your favorite player watching. Yeah, Josh Naylor was on the Guardians. He's a decent player. He's got a lot of energy. He can be kind of annoying sometimes. Your dad lost over 100 pounds in a month or two before he passed. It's crazy. It was months, and he lost over. That's insane. What was he not eating at all, or was it like some type of infection or some type of? That's insane. 100 pounds. I'm not even sure. Because you have to maintain your body weight. It's like 2,000 calories. So if you don't eat within 2 days, you should lose at least a pound. But he commented above about loving XRP. Oh, there he is. I love XRP. You got me with the cat. I like it. That's nice. And you like XRP. And you've just made me. You've given me a donation. Now I can buy XRP. I'm just kidding. I'm not buying XRP. A normie bot loves XRP. And I guess wants to Photoshop my cat with me. Or just a random cat, I guess. AI slop. AI slop photograph. How did he get the photo? He made it himself. I didn't take a photo like that. There's no cat. I didn't take a photo with a cat. $300 million market cap, 88K holders. Oh, you're shilling that coin again, the Z coin. Trump looks fatter probably because he's sitting down with his fucking coat.
I think I've proven fake news because they used to have high approval rates.
And he does look like a big boy. He's a big boy.
Okay, I don't know. I'm a grok guy.
Okay. Me
so
too. I'm a grok guy.
You're a grok guy. Okay. Elon, I think it's the best.
I think it's the best. It's also the least woke. I'm always asking myself, when if I ask an AI a question, is it going to give me an objective
If the vice
answer?
president puts it in
give me a
extreme
woke
mode,
answer?
If you put it in extreme mode just for kicks and giggles, it's a little. Well, if you want,
I have not, Sean. I don't want the media to attack
if you want
me.
to know the neighborhood that Donald Trump grew up in and the kind of language you probably heard every day, you put it in extreme mode. It's pretty funny.
I could tell it's talking like my grandmother, and then we'd be in good shape.
Oh, okay, I don't know. I'm a grok guy.
Do I sell my alts for a loss and buy silver? Well, that is a smart decision. That's a smart financial decision. Boomerism 101. Sell anything in cryptocurrency and buy not gold but silver. If you love McDonald's, you love it for life. I've had McDonald's. I thought it was a little lacking, honestly. I was like, there's not, I don't know. It's just, I remember when I was younger, it was better, and you grow up, it doesn't taste as good to me. But I just get the chicken nuggets, right? I don't get the burger. I never get a Big Mac or anything like that. I'm sure I would like a Big Mac, but I just get chicken nuggets and sweet and sour sauce. Is Paul Feinbaum running in Alabama? I don't know. Maybe. They announced they'll stop minting the penny. Give another 10 years before they stop minting. Change altogether, 20 years. Yeah, no, I agree. It's probably inevitability. A nugget connoisseur. Why, yes. I always hit chicken nuggets. What is Hannity has an obsession with Stephen A. Yeah, it's a weird thing with that. It just gets annoying. I've seen a few of those clips. No, I'm not gonna be moving to Arizona, man. The DG fan accounts are getting out of hand. Yeah, there's got to be like 10 of them now. Yeah, I don't really see a lot of young kids eating a ton of McDonald's. I guess it depends, though. I don't really. It's not like I would really look for it. I do think it's like. I mean, I noticed Wendy's. A lot of Wendy's are closing, or is the Wendy's done? I saw something about Wendy's, the fast food establishment, being done or something. I think Wendy's is decent. Wendy's is closing 200 stores. That's what it was. Come to Washington State. White Walkers. Now everyone is just talking about places. How bad did Trump sell America out to Argentina? Yeah, I'll go ahead, pin that. This is the Discord pinned if you want to join it. How many milkshakes am I having? I'm not having any milkshakes. Milkshakes just not going to do you any good, man. I mean, milkshakes taste good 100%, but... Yeah, milkshake from DoorDash. That's a great combination, right? Don't move to Colorado. You can't wait to get out of Colorado Springs. Denver libtards ruin the shit. No, Colorado's completely liberal. And you're right. It was basically a swing state like 10 years ago. It's insane how quickly it's happened. Or maybe not 10 years ago, but like 20 years or 15 years ago. Kai Trump golf clip. I think I've seen that where she got a par or a birdie. You know, liberals said they wanted to harass Kai Trump because they said she didn't deserve to be at this whatever the fuck this golf invitational thing. They said they were going to harass her. I don't think any of them actually did. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, this is insane. I'm sorry. This is Kash Patel's girlfriend suing people over claiming she's an Israeli spy. And you know, it's just they're trying to get to they're trying to make it frivolous. They're trying to bankrupt these people, I feel.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is not anyway. I mean, she is a very different thinking than I have. something happened to her over the last period of a month or two where she changed, I think, politically. I think that her constituents aren't going to be happy. Already, I have people calling me. They want to challenge her to a race in her district in Georgia. And, you know, that's too bad. She's lost a wonderful conservative reputation. But when she says, don't go overseas, if I didn't go overseas, we might be in a war right now with China.
As you guys might have already heard, I am being sued for $5 million by Alexis Wilkins, the sensational country music star who's dating current FBI director Kash Patel.
Sensational.
And unfortunately, due to this lawsuit, my family is now being threatened and our safety is on the line. Apparently, in support of Alexis Wilkins' lawsuit, individuals creating mass amounts of bot accounts have targeted my family in a mass doxing campaign, which has directly threatened the safety of myself, my wife, who is defenseless, is an Australian citizen, and also my 2 children who are 1 and 2.5 years old. The reason why this happened is because Alexis Wilkins, as the girlfriend of the FBI director, holds a very influential and prominent social position in this country. What I have here is one of the many doxings. What you will see and why it matters of her positioning, whether she would support this or not, I believe she would not. And I'm going to give a chance for her to publicly condemn this threat towards my ability to exist peaceably in this country. You see individuals, which we've redacted here, saying things like this, including maps of where I live, directions on how to get to my house, details about my home, ways to enter into the house. Now, we've reported most of these posts.
I have
They've been
heard some
taken
things
down.
about that.
Twitter has taken action. However, this is a direct result of Alexis Wilkins' lawsuit. My family is in danger because she decided to enter into lawfare. And why do I know that? I know that because in the lawsuit, she makes claims to make me appear to be a bad person. In the lawsuit, which I know was made up and built upon a sea of lies, she states that I made malicious, insidious claims against her, that I lied to hurt and defame her, that I said that she was manipulating a government official, all claims that I reject and are false. Alexis, we live in a...
I think it might be like a fishing expedition to try and, you know, drain him for money, if I had to guess. I don't know the exact suit, but whenever you sue someone for defamation, isn't it like impossible to win if they're a public figure? He's a fuentard. Is that what they're calling him now? A fuentard. Thoughts on Eastern Orthodoxy Christianity? Yeah, I mean, I know it's growing in popularity above Protestantism, but I don't know. There seems to be a lot of arguments between amongst young people between Eastern Orthodox and Catholicism. Do you not like cold winters either, or is only... No, I'm fine with the really cold. I'm fine with the really cold. I mean, I don't love it, but it's way better. You know, as long as it's good sleeping weather. If it's good sleeping weather, it's fine. Is the U.S. really a Christian country? Well, it is a Christian country, yes, but obviously with the amount of immigrants you bring in that aren't Christian, it kind of convolutes it. So that's basically what happened. Please play the Tucker clip. Taylor Lorenz.
Honestly,
the mask.
Before I came,
I'll send you a box.
I did. I was like,
The
I
mask.
need to bring a mask.
What is? Oh, it's a pickleball. I'm very into pickleball.
Oh,
I'm very
Taylor-
into it. I'm in a
Taylor
league.
Lorenz is into pickleball.
I'm in a
That's the
league.
least shocking thing I think I've heard about you. Taylor Lorenz, pickleball player. She's coming for your Twitter account.
They're dating. Strange couple.
What we want
is for someone to unashamedly and single-mindedly advocate for Americans and Americans only. We want someone to say, you know, the only thing I care about is helping Americans. The only people I care about in the world are Americans. And we don't want to just hear that, but we want to see the action taken as well. You know, I've seen some people on social media say, hey, it's America first, but not America only. I disagree. I think it is America only. It's like I said months ago, I consider myself an American chauvinist. America first, America only, I'm an American chauvinist. I don't care about it. This is the only thing I care about. America should be the only thing you care about, especially as a leader of the country. What we want is...
Yeah, I mean, the thing is they'll say, well, for America only, they have to have allies and stuff. That's what they'll say. You gotta have good allies. Come on, not this copyright shit. Matt Walsh dyes his beard. Yeah, you know, Ryan Day does that. You can tell, too, because you can actually tell. You can actually tell, you know, with the beards because of how dark the color is. Like, look at Ryan Day. And I like Ryan Day. I think Ryan Day is a solid coach. But it's pretty obvious, and Michigan fans always talk about it. And Matt Walsh is probably another one.
A lot of commotion going on about this. So just recently I read that
what even
they
is
halted
this?
the construction of this, which is great. So basically this is an elevator that's supposed to go down and up to access the beach. However, it's a pretty bad idea because that does not match the beauty of that. So hopefully they tear it down.
I mean, do they get enough visitors for that to fucking need them to need an elevator? You had a dream with a similar structure? Montana has no general sales tax and very low property tax rates. Any of those plain states have very low tax rates. Sounds like a handicap thing. I don't think they would build that for just handicapped people alone. Like, that seems excessive. When are you moving? Within the next few months. So I'll probably, for a time, not be able to make videos. I don't know how long, but you know, it's probably during the winter. Something. The Trump mobile phone will not be able to be made in America. It'll be sold for $499. They're outsourcing those parts. Yeah, I mean, the mobile phone doesn't surprise me. I heard it was a cheap fucking Android phone, and they just like they just marked it up significantly. That's what I heard, and they made it look like an iPhone, but it's an Android. Any females in chat? This is not gonna be this. You're not gonna find many here. Thoughts about moving to Minnesota? Minnesota. No, I never really thought about moving to Minnesota. It's got colder weather, but I guess it definitely has conservative areas. But you know, you stay away from Minneapolis. That's what I would say. There's been a Somali takeover. There's been a tribal warfare in Minneapolis. Are blacks losing political power? They've lost the political power to like Muslims and the Muslims that have moved in. It feels like you have zero interest in voting for a ticket with Rubio. Well, because of the Israel, he loves Israel. I don't know if it will be Rubio. I just think right now it's most likely. That's Just go to US Bank Stadium in a nice car and get the hell out of there. Yeah, that's basically it. Minnesota is a Somali state. We should trade Minnesota for Alberta. Well, they do have the Somali flag as well. At least they've embraced it.
These remarks were especially notable because they came at the final phase of Crooks's YouTube commenting. At that point, a new character emerged into the conversation, a user named Willie Tepes, who started pressuring Crooks to commit violence. For example, quote, "If a gun and a badge is all that is needed, then authority obviously comes from the barrel of a gun. We have more guns than they do. There is no way we can avoid a war at this point, so you better just get used to the idea. We have nothing to lose and everything to win. And the alternative, a global police state, is unacceptable. Nothing in life is simple, but that is no argument against doing it." So who is this Willie Tepes? Unfortunately, we don't know. The FBI hasn't made any mention of him in public, although they certainly know he exists. Just days after the shooting, somebody screenshotted Tepes' YouTube account page, despite the fact he had very few followers. To the extent that he can be traced online now, you can find his username being used on a foreign Antifa website. Those sites link him to the Nordic Resistance Movement, which has been designated a terrorist group by the U.S. State Department. That's all we know.
God, what is that noise?
We do know, however, that Crooks' online footprint abruptly
Was that on the
ends
video?
after his encounter with this mysterious figure, Willie Tepes. Regardless of whoever Willie Tepes is or was and what his motives may have been, who he may have been working for, there is no doubt that Crooks was ripe for recruitment by someone. From early 2019 to mid-2020, as his political views were evolving, Crooks searched for Trump more than 700 times online. He also searched for Jack Ruby, the man who assassinated Lee Harvey Oswald. He then submitted queries for craziest chemical reactions, cars running over protesters, best places for mass shooting El Paso, Trump Civil War, Orlando shooting reaction, firing an AR-15 as fast as possible, fertilizer bomb, how to make napalm, how to make a Molotov cocktail, mass shooting Canada, Oklahoma bombing, and sniper in Dallas shooting. He also searched for American Nazi Party, German national anthem 1933-1945, Hitler's speeches with subtitles, neo-Nazis, and, quote, why gays need to go. So here you have a volatile, troubled, possibly mentally ill young man with a long record of espousing violence in public. The FBI clearly knew he existed. And then you have, at the very end of his years commenting in public, espousing violence, an exchange with a mysterious figure affiliated with a group that we know is being monitored by the U.S. State Department. It turns out that around the same time that Thomas Crooks was making these searches and posting overt threats of violence against public figures on YouTube, the FBI was issuing contracts to private sector tech surveillance firms to harness the power of mass data collection tools that would monitor social media for people just like Thomas Crooks. It's hard to imagine that Thomas Crooks, who was making these posts publicly and in his own name, had not been identified and looked at closely by federal law enforcement. In fact, it's impossible to imagine. What do we know? Well, we know that the FBI had access to these YouTube comments, and rather than giving us valuable information about them, giving us a sense of why Thomas Crooks did what he did, they used a selective read of those comments to lie about what Thomas Crooks was thinking. 2.5 weeks after the attack on July 30th, a source familiar with the investigation told CNN that, quote, federal investigators are looking into a YouTube account possibly connected to Crooks in which the user espoused political violence as well as anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes. Well, of course, it wasn't possibly connected to Thomas Crooks, as the FBI knew full well it was Thomas Crooks' account. There was never any question about that. And yet the same day, the FBI's then deputy director made the same dishonest claim before Congress. The week previous, then FBI Director Christopher Wray publicly questioned whether Trump was even shot.
With respect to former President Trump,
there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that that hit his ear.
In February
Remember that?
2025, the New York Post reported that, quote, the FBI has obstructed efforts to solve the mystery of why Thomas Matthew Crooks, who left no manifesto, did what he did. And this fact, said the Post, left local law enforcement as well as Crooks's former friends, classmates, and teachers frustrated. The level of lying and obstruction is shocking. Less than a month after the shooting, Congressman Clay Higgins of Louisiana, a former police officer, traveled to Butler to conduct his own investigation into what happened. When he arrived, he discovered a disturbing fact. The FBI released Crooks's body for cremation 10 days after July 13th. This wasn't known to the public until Higgins arrived in Butler on August 5th, when the coroner told the congressman, quote, he would never have released Crooks's body to the family for cremation or burial without specific permission from the FBI. The timing of Crooks's cremation is notable. The day Crooks's body was burned was also the day the House Homeland Security and Oversight Committees had begun their investigations into the shooting. The fact the body was cremated made it impossible for investigators outside the FBI to verify the coroner and autopsy report. You can't do a new tox screen because the body doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, that's so they're saying he hated Trump, but he was right wing. But maybe he was right wing, but thought Trump was useless and offed himself to spark a civil war, and so a real right wing movement could take hold. I mean, I think we would need to see, maybe a manifesto or something. Yeah, no, I know it makes no sense how it was able to do it. It is insane. Yeah, people are talking about MK Ultra. I don't know. Getting drunk and destroying a home?
I just got a Ring notification that a disgruntled employee got pissed off this morning. Here, this is only 2 or 3 hours ago. Took this house down with an excavator. Excavator's right over there. Oh my gosh.
That had to have taken at least an hour to do that. And you seen this thing? Oh, it just died. I think it just died. Cover it up. Cover it up. It's drunk. How are you supposed to have sex with that thing? Yeah, that's not... Those are going to be a while. Those are going to be a while. Oh, man, not again with the question about gay people in the chat. Here. VR nerd. Can you do 60 push-ups? Not in a row. Now, the thing is, if it's bad form, I could probably do 60 push-ups, but if it's a good form, I couldn't do it. Friday night, why don't you go out to a bar and pick up some chicks? That's boomerism. You're gonna have a tough time trying to do that. How many in a row could you do with proper form? Not many, honestly. I mean, probably like, because the thing is I'll go really inside with my hands, so it's challenging. I don't know, maybe like 25 or so. You know, when Joe Rogan does them, he's not even good form. It's terrible form. He says he does like 100. Bullshit. It's bad form. Does this hurt the MAGA base because of MTG or no? I don't know, man. Probably not. Yeah, this game is over. All young dudes swipe now with great results. How's it working out? No, I mean, honestly, in general, I do agree with you. It's better IRL. You're gonna have it's not gonna be good on the apps. Are you into big booty Latinas? I mean, at a certain point, it's just like it becomes too much. Who do you think are the wolves in sheep's clothing? The conservative movement? I don't know, man. The conservative movement, it's just like, you know, this is what happens. It splits off into fractions and different coalitions form, and I mean, 50 BPS is a win. You have insider information on that? There's no way there's been 95 million volume in this shit. Maybe in the total previous bets. 95 million volume. What, betting against this? That's not even worth it. Holding meet and greet convention in Ohio. I mean, what's the point? What's really? I held a meet and greet convention. I don't have the sway to be able to do that. Visit Thailand to find a date. You're gonna be surprised. You'll have a sneak attack. You go to Thailand. Mm-hmm. 35 push-ups. I don't know. What am I fucking gonna gauge the exact amount of I don't know how many push-ups I can do. It's gonna be tough for me because I haven't done push-ups in a while. Do a rally. Do a nationalist rally. Yeah, no, 100%. You're right. 100%. People will have to come together. Although this, I do think is a little bit different, like with the fractions within the Republican Party. But I think most people will come together. You know, there's going to be infighting before the elections and stuff. A girl could do more push-ups. Yeah, because if they weigh like 110 pounds, it's easier to do push-ups if you weigh 110 pounds. That's actually not impressive if they do more push-ups than me. You should do an event at the 2028 Republican primary in Ohio. I wonder when I think the Republican primary in Ohio is on Super Tuesday. It's when most of them are. But I don't know. I mean, will the candidates visit? Maybe a few of them will. But if it's Super Tuesday, that means there's like 7 or 10 different states. Would you say? I mean, you as one of my top 10 favorite subscribers. I don't know, man. That would have to be I'd have to deliberate between some people on that one. It's gonna be tough. Be tough. Have you heard of the Muslim terror attack in India? No, I haven't heard of it. Doesn't surprise me, unfortunately. Do you live closer to the Ohio Turnpike? I mean, what a strange question. That's an odd question. Least favorite country for you, it's Bangladesh. Bangladesh has the lowest standard of living, I think, out of any country. South Africa for what they're doing. I don't know who Elon's dad is. I never seen him. You find it weird everyone is trying to find out where I live? I mean, it's not surprising. It doesn't even, you're wasting your time, honestly, on moving. You're wasting your time. You want to find out where I live. It's like, it's not worth it. Is Jake Paul seriously fighting Anthony Joshua? I don't know, honestly. Why would the Browns play Sanders at this point? Yeah, the Browns should just play Sanders and get it over with, because it's getting annoying with these people because they want to see Sanders. I don't think Sanders is good, but it's like you do have to kind of play him at some point. Gabriel is just horrific. I mean, he's just too small. Thoughts on Drake May? He's a good young quarterback. I mean, I think maybe we got to slow the roll on him a little bit. They've got a very easy schedule. Yeah, Gabriel doesn't have the size or the arm. You're right, 100%. Thoughts on Arch the past few games? He's improved. Yeah, he's improved. Well, I mean, it'll be a huge thing. He's got Texas A&M coming up. He's got Georgia. So if he plays well, I mean, he could really rewrite his season. Thoughts on this NFL rookie class is horrific. This upcoming one? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think... Or this past one you're talking about. Yeah, the past one with like Cam Ward looks bad, and which is worse for JD Vance's chances of being president, Palantir, or his Indian family? Yeah, I mean, he's gonna, well, probably the Palantir stuff, honestly. But I don't know. I mean, because you have to think it from a normie perspective. I think it's the Palantir stuff. Trevion Henderson looks good, that's for sure. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this stream. You want to see a day in the life video? Yeah, I feel like it's hard for me to film that, man. It's hard for me to film myself, honestly. But that's going to do it for this stream. All right, guys, I will see you later. Like the video down below. Like the video. Thoughts on Kelshi? It's fine. It's like Polymark. It's the same thing, honestly. It's just legalized in the United States. All right, guys, we'll see you.